Hello everyone, in this video I would like to compare the sound quality of an IEM such as the Truth Ear Nova to iPhone 14 Pro Max speakers. I know I am known as the measurement guy and there aren't really any measurements I can show that the iPhone 14 Pro Max speakers sound better than the Truth Ear Nova, but it does. And that's the thing. Measurements for audio equipment are only useful when comparing products of the same class. The iPhone 14 Pro Max is a speaker, so while you can point to the frequency response of any IEM, let's say it's the perfect frequency response at your eardrum for an IEM, it's still not going to sound as good as a good speaker system. Not that the iPhone 14 Pro Max is exactly a good speaker system, but it does have speakers. And how to listen to the iPhone 14 Pro Max speakers optimally is as follows. You should hold the phone vertically and have it be such that it's around where my hand is, and just have it tilted up and pointed at your chin kind of, such that the sound is beaming from the phone to your face. The effect this gives is that there's a wall of sound that reaches you from the front, and it sounds like there's a vocalist in the front, but obviously, with IEMs, no matter how good they measure, it's still going to sound in your head and not realistic sounding. So, the iPhone 14 Pro Max, with its anechoic measurement, it has some bass extension, much better than the S22 Ultra. You can say there's a bit of extra mid-energy, sure, but it's a phone speaker. The treble is fairly smooth for a phone and extends reasonably well for a phone. But this is all it takes for a speaker to beat any IEM realistically. The iPhone 14 Pro Max, caseless, does sound better than any IEM. The realism of IEMs is completely non-existent. Instead of focusing so much more on measurements, I'm going to focus more on the realism of sounds. This isn't to say that DACs and amps all of a sudden matter beyond their measurements, because they don't, but when you are so involved in acoustics, there eventually comes a point where you realize that a drum reference point measurement really does not capture anywhere close to the entire relevant acoustic events that have taken place. The iPhone 14 Pro Max speakers have soundstage that IEMs do not do. And stereo as a medium really is flawed. Two channels cannot accurately replicate the original 3D acoustic event. So at this point I would even say that putting a speaker like on top of my TV pointed down towards the listening position would be more ideal than just having two speakers, because in terms of the objects of sounds and trying to replicate the original acoustic event, the singer is likely going to be in the front, so you can have some difference channels and configure it such that you have a 3-channel system that plays in stereo or plays stereo music properly. But the objects of sound are more important than whatever measurement a specific product class decides to use.